Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self-realization. Please subscribe our channel for the mystical meanings of the scriptures and to enjoy daily satsang with us. We are currently studying the book Integral Yoga, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhhilananda. We are currently covering the topic of Karma Yoga or Yoga of Action, and we'll conclude that today and start with Bhakti Yoga or Yoga of Devotion. So, in conclusion, we see Karma Yoga as a way to advance spirituality in a world of activity. Karma Yoga does not require any change to one's external activity, just a change in attitude, and the results are dramatic. A purified mind becomes the wellspring from which all progress and creative energy flows. Further, it is incorrect to think that you are given only a small measure of talent and others are given greater talents. All have equal potential. This is the ringing note of yoga philosophy. Each person is potentially a Christ, a Buddha, a Krishna, a Rama, an illumined sage. Each is the highest. All that potential is certainly there. Apparent differences among human beings only exist when the mind and its potential are not well used. Karma Yoga gives you the insight to utilize those potentials and grow into a highly evolved personality. With this, we conclude the section of Karma Yoga, and now we will move on to Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of emotion. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, shlokas 2 to 4, Lord Krishna says, offer adorations to the sky, to the air, to fire, to water, to the earth, to the luminaries in the sky, to all created beings, to the four directions, bow down to the trees, rivers, and seas, considering them as the embodiment of God. For this world is another expression of God itself. So, the next study is Bhakti Yoga, which literally means yoga of devotion or divine love. As Karma Yoga purifies the mind, the practice of Bhakti Yoga becomes increasingly possible. So, this is a gradual improvement, one step after the other. Remember that the human personality is based on four aspects: action, emotion, will, and reason. And corresponding to emotion is Bhakti Yoga. Through the study of Bhakti Yoga, an aspirant gains insight into the nature of emotions, sentiments, and how to culture them. At its climax, the best of one's sentiments are integrated and expressed in a profound love for God. The basic understanding in Bhakti Yoga is that every soul has an intrinsic urge to love God, and the goal of Bhakti Yoga is to discover the ray of divine love which already exists in the human heart. However, this ray is obscured by numerous impurities expressing themselves in mental complexes. It is much the same as placing some obstruction between a magnet and iron filings. Although the magnet is constantly exerting its influence, the filings are not attracted to the magnet. So, too, divine love is constantly exerting its influence on every individual. Day by day, we are being pulled to eternity, beyond time and space, but it is not felt. Day by day, a subtle message comes to our ears, a call from destiny to eternity, but it is not heard because of these obstacles. These obstacles or impurities are egoism, selfishness, impressions of attachment and hatred, karmic involvements, etc. Bhakti Yoga then is that disciplinary process of recognizing a divine basis in life developing devotion, awakening divine love, and serving humanity as an expression of that love. Bhakti Yoga, however, does not teach a restricted form of religious belief. Instead, it gives an understanding that all religions are expressions of divine love. This takes yoga philosophy out of the realm of religion as it is understood by the masses. It does not present any sectarian type of limitation, such as accepting a dogma or strict doctrine. This is not the theme of yoga in any way. When we talk of bhakti or devotion to God, the God spoken of is the God of all religions. More important, in bhakti yoga, it is faith, or not the faith or belief, but the awakening of love and expansion of the heart. So the focus is on the heart and purification. In this light, therefore, the practice of bhakti yoga is able to culture the sentiments to such an extent that one would be amazed at his latent possibilities. An average person loves only certain people around him, some family members or close friends. But that same love can expand to such a dimension where his heart can resonate with the whole of humanity, considering everyone as his brother and sister, his very own self. That expansion of feeling makes one saintly, divine, and has been the basis of mystical movements in all the religions. So, what is love? If we observe people and their lives in the world, we will see that they try to experience love in two ways. One is by being loved, and the other is by loving. These two movements existing in the human personality actually proceed from the divine self, from God. Ultimately, the fulfillment of all love lies in the communion or realization of the divine self. However, in seeking fulfillment by loving people, turn their attention towards other people and objects around them. A child begins with the love of his parents. Yet, as he grows, different relationships develop: love for his brothers and sisters, love for the friends and relatives, love for husband or wife. Yet, all are unable to fulfill his thirst of love. His love is also directed towards objects around him, toys and pets. As he grows, cars, boats, vacations, an easy job, etc. But there are always times when an object which has been a source of intense love turns to be a source of great bitterness. Seeking fulfillment by being loved, we again find the same consequences. A person turns to the loving arms of his mother and father, the tender care of his wife, the understanding heart of his friend, and to many persons who seem to be like giant trees that can support the tender creeper of his personality. But soon he discovers that they too have their limitations. They too can be insecure. There is no one whose love could be the fulfillment to another's ceaseless quest. If a person is sensitive enough, he will ultimately realize that the world cannot fulfill his demand for love, because what he is seeking is eternity that transcends the relative world of time and space. This is the theme of Bhakti Yoga, training the sentiments in such a way that a person can pull himself out of the world of relativity and direct his mind to the transcendental self. Love that is intensely concentrated gives an aspirant an escape velocity that takes him beyond the pull of the world. A devotee then experiences the mystic joy arising out of loving God, and he begins to understand that love of God is more tangible than any other love in this world. God, in turn, responds to that love in various ways. You pray for a certain development in your life, and your prayers are answered. That is a response from God. You are in an adverse situation and your mind is completely confused. When guidance comes, it is a response from God. You are in degrading company and a good influence takes you out of that situation. That is a response from God. Saints, sages, and all their messages and messengers are responses from God to humanity. You take one step towards the divine self, and the divine self takes 100 steps towards you. All that is needed is a little human effort, and the divine response is immediate and intense. Hari Om Tat Sat. We will continue this beautiful topic of bhakti or devotion in tomorrow's satsang. This is Swami Nikhhilananda. Om Tat Sat.